Help spread love and feel the joy of giving back. During the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event at Beardmore Subaru, Subaru will donate $250 to the charity of your choice for every new Subaru purchased or leased. The ASPCA, Make-A-Wish, Meals on Wheels, the National Park Foundation, the Housing Foundation of Sarpy County, or Offutt Air Force Base's Airman's Attic. Plus, we will give an additional $100 locally to help even more. Go to BeardmoreSubaru.com to learn more. Submit charity selection by 1/12/24. Promotion ends 1/2/24. See Subaru.com for more details.
Well, you know something? Thanks for those who have been whining about that it wasn't cold in October. Because November decided to bring all the ice cubes out, man. It's cold as balls out there. Jeez. Well, gotta make sure I always am lotion up. Don't want to walk through the whole damn thing ashy as hell. But I mean to tell you this, that season change sure came in high form. But I love it when people complain, though. Don't you? And not only that, but hope they actually enjoyed what was going on the old IG there for a little bit and managed to get like a little bit of a monster march going on, because it is indeed the last day of the Monster Fest. Anyway, let's go ahead and get it started, because welcome to the J-Man Show here on
J360 Radio.
Help spread love and feel the joy of giving back. During the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event at Beardmore Subaru, Subaru will donate $250 to the charity of your choice for every new Subaru purchased or leased. The ASPCA, Make-A-Wish, Meals on Wheels, the National Park Foundation, the Housing Foundation of Sarpy County, or Offutt Air Force Base's Airman's Attic. Plus, we will give an additional $100 locally to help even more. Go to BeardmoreSubaru.com to learn more. Submit charity selection by 1/12/24. Promotion ends 1/2/24. See Subaru.com for more details.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Well, now, how's it going there, J360 Legion? How are you all doing tonight? Coming back to the show that started it all, are we? Well, in case you didn't know, yes, indeed, welcome to the J-Man Show. Episode 227, if you will. Yeah, it turns out that we had a little bit of a numbering problem going on there for a minute, because the episode that you got last Wednesday said that it was 225, but 225 was already released as a Secret Saturday episode. So if you didn't check it out, it's still Monster Fest celebrating. So yeah, you know what I mean? Everything had that Monster Fest flavor this past couple of, I want to say, like, has it been about 6 weeks? Has it? Yeah, I guess it would be. Man, we were so knee deep in the supernatural, I almost forgot that there was another dimension to go to. And you know something? It was well worth it. I like to think that this year was actually just as good as last year's one, Even though nobody went anywhere last year, but you know what I mean, like, still had to continue on the show. Like, that's the way it is around here. The show must go on as always. And, you gotta do that adage, even if it seems like, you don't feel it or people don't have a use for it. But it's like this, yeah, it does. There's a reason. A lot of people look forward to the Monster Fest. And I'm like, you know what? I won't let you down. I mean, even like right now, like I'm looking over some of the highs and lows of it this year. There wasn't many lows, actually. The only thing that I wish that kind of took in place was more of the J360 TV things. I would have loved to have done those, but hey, we're not all the way into recovery yet from this COVID stuff. So, patience. And not only that, I'm going to have to figure out some more things to throw your way. Oh, as for the PowerPlay, it's 100% fixed now. Yes, that problem is well taken care of. It's gone. The reason why you guys didn't get one on Saturday was I just didn't feel like playing any video games. I felt like going ahead and just doing something else. Plus, there were these movies that I was looking into, and they were getting so deep. I was like, am I going to have enough time to rate them, or am I going to just wait until next year to go ahead and throw some stuff to you? Or, hey, you never know, it might do some off-season activity. But it was just really, really, really good. You know, I couldn't just pull away and jump into Bioshock and stuff. Which, by the way, we're going to go ahead and take care of Bioshock 2, so don't you even worry about that. And not to mention some of the other games I have on the list. But yeah, that's 100% fixed now. And, you know, who would have thought that I had a J360 Hangouts there waiting for you guys? Yes, turns out I still have a whole lot of bag of tricks, people. That's just what I do, you know? Yep, I had all this stuff waiting and planned up for you guys anyway. I was just like, should I hit him with this or shouldn't I hit him with this? And it's like, yeah, this is perfect. Because, you know, it's me and Al talking about nightmare food and other stuff. And wouldn't you believe, that episode was made like a long time ago. That stuff is definitely archival footage. Matter of fact, I think me and Alan were working on something. God, I think the Cyclone was still around at that time. I'm not mistaken. But, you know, a lot of foreshadowing was in that one, wasn't it? And who would have thought that Alec Baldwin would be at the center of a whole, you know, prop misfire controversy? And it's not even just that. I'm being pretty light on that. I know it's a lot more to it. But I didn't want to go into that too much because I think me and the boys on State of the Art covered it a lot more deeper. Which, by the way, I'm moving certain episodes of State of the Art over to J360 Radio. As soon as the next episode lands, that little part of the show, well, that part of the J360 universe will be active fully. So, yes, you guys are getting that. Speaking of which, remember 11/16/16. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Because real J360 fans know what that date is. But yes, as I sit here and I look over these things, I'm like, the ratings were pretty good. Sometimes, like, we were watching a lot of movies over here to the point where the ratings couldn't keep up. So I do know, like, those things were kind of late for you guys, but next time we'll be on time with it, you know? Like, whatever we didn't get done this year, we'll definitely go ahead and topple that and then some next year. And who knows, next year it might be fully J360 TV at that point. I'll be in a different state and all that jazz by then. So, you know, little things like that. And then, like, a lot of the Monster Fest, yes, a lot of the Monster Fest Nightmare Tales were on point this year. Hells yeah. I remember some people sending me some messages saying, hey, you kept me up and all that jazz. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not liable for you to listen to what I tell you. But at the end of the day, you learned something, right? You should watch those things with the lights on. That's what you should do. Yeah. Right around in the summertime and all that crap. That's what y'all are about. You ain't about this fall-time jazz. Hey, sometimes, like, when people send me messages, you know, I gotta go ahead and mess with them on that situation. But it's the Monster Fest. You know you are here to get this crap scared out of you. That's where we are. A little christening, if you will. And in doing so, I know I didn't throw up too many clips at you guys this year. There's a special reason behind that. Well, what with this whole metaverse kick that Zuckerberg's on now, and the way they kept changing up some stuff over on IG, like, sometimes the videos wouldn't be cropped right, and then there were times where it was like, oh, we were gonna keep this all in lockdown because we don't know whether you took this or how you got this footage or not. And then there's sometimes they'll go ahead and they'll block your footage outright because allegedly you're making money off of it. No, I'm not doing that for profit. I'm doing that pretty much to showcase the movies that inspire and I'm interested in. And not only that, it's the Monster Fest. Come on now, I'm doing an event. They always act like, yeah, but we want more creators on our space, but they won't let you at least showcase things that you're interested in. It's kind of weird to me. But then again, they might get a little lenient, right? They might go ahead and relinquish some control over this stuff and say to, guess what? You know, we are the same. No, we're not. No, we're not the same, pal. Can't wait till I start doing some more of my stuff over there, boy. Whew. Crazy stuff. Speaking of which, as for J360 TV, the same thing applies over there. The reason why I didn't get to throw up some of those clips over there is because Content ID was ravaging, man. Like, even when I was doing Bioshock, they were like, hey, this in-game music, you don't own the rights to this. We're going to demonetize you. It's like, I'm not making that for profit, though. And keep in mind, this is the same group of people that will go ahead and send me a message about Resin Sun being on the Space Force birthday bash, which at the same time, all that's done with permission and they were in the video. So I don't know what sort of algorithm is over here and all that jazz. But sometimes, if you've ever heard like Ray Bradbury's short story, The Pedestrian, sometimes I feel like I'm the guy that's just trying to take a walk. Whereas, like, everything from these algorithms is like the automatic police car that just didn't believe that the person was out taking a damn walk. That's what it's weird, you know? It's like, oh, okay. So this AI knows everything, but it knows Jack S. And yes, I have control over myself tonight. I'm not going to go ahead and get knee deep in it because, you know, I think I'm going to go ahead and prop my feet up after all this cool stuff with the fest this year. I think right off the bat, I might just take a week off, go on a little sabbatical, and just, experience, gee, what did I do last sabbatical? You gotta understand, this stuff takes time to get used to. I mean, after you do, like, this great big grand finale, it's like, where you go from here? Up and away, I'd say. Or maybe I'll go see Eternals or something. I could use a laugh. Hey, look, to be fair, I'm sure the movie is fine. No, some of y'all saw past that, didn't you? Yeah, okay. Well, get this. Like, look, I don't think the movie's as bad as some of these places are making them out to be. I think some people are just joining in on it because a lot of people weren't interested in it at the time. And then it's, like, really grandiose and all that stuff. The movie's, like, you know, one of those huge movies, and then there's a time where it's like, you know, am I feeling the need to see it, or am I feeling the need not to see it? And there's times where I'm like, yeah, I'll just wait for it to come out on DVD. And, you know, it doesn't disappoint. I'm sure there's going to be people that like this film, and I'm sure there's going to be people that talk about how great it was. But when it gets right down to those conversations, sometimes people will go ahead and they'll try to go at you personally about it, rather than just say, hey, I just thought it was a good movie, whereas you did not, and leave it at that. But hey, if you think that stuff is really, really fun, I love the comments that follow after it, because I'm sitting here on comicbook.com too, and I'm just reading all this crap, like how like somebody is considered racist because they just didn't care to see like the sex scene that was in this movie. Because yes, this is a big deal. People actually have sex. A Marvel movie with a sex scene. Take that, Wonder Woman 1984. We can do the do too. Trust me, that's what it seems like it feels like sometimes. You know, oh, you can do that? Yeah, we can do it. And no, I'm not being funny with that little pun. It's just like after a while, it's like, meh, it is what it is. I mean, sometimes we worry more about that than we worry about superheroes doing the actual job. So yeah. But hey, man. Like, I'm just looking at one of these other outstanding things. As for, like, the Godzilla MonsterVerse stuff, yes, I still look through it to this year, and I love all of those movies. Like, if there's one franchise that Warner Brother did get right, it would be that one. And no, I did not rate them because guess what? I did rate them last year. I remember going through them all and giving them ratings, and I was like, well, no need to do it twice. So yeah, like if anything, that's already in the library and in the canon, folks. So yep, took care of that one. And then, like, of course, you know, I have to watch that every year. Like, I have to go through Godzilla King of Monsters, Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla vs. Kong, because, like, even though I said, like, Godzilla vs. Kong is kind of paper thin when it comes to the human element, we're not here for that BS. No. We are here for giant monkey versus giant radiated lizard action. That's what we're here for. And the occasional thing where they have to team up to take down Mechagodzilla. It is what it is. But, you know, like right off the bat, cool. Doesn't matter. Because they also had the Mechagodzilla being controlled by the Ghidorah Skullhead, so that actually works. So I'm not mad at that. But you see, the funny part is where like other people who, well, you know, the normies who look at this stuff and are like, they don't get the mythos of Godzilla. King Kong's helped to defeat Mechagodzilla. You know, Godzilla should be able to defeat Mechagodzilla on his own. If you paid attention to the history of Godzilla, Godzilla never defeat Mechagodzilla on his own. Okay? Usually he has help. He had help in the form of King Caesar, and he had help in the form of Fire Rodan, and he also had, like, help in the form of King Kong this time, because guess what? You know, even though they cause a lot of destruction, at their core, they're pretty much doing the right thing usually. And it's always something of an outside force that bothers these monsters, and it comes from us as mankind. We do a lot of stupid stuff, dare I say. Like, there are some people now that are just getting the point that, hey, you know, maybe Ultron had the right idea to try to exterminate us. And it's like, wait, you waited until after all this stuff to figure that out? And now you kind of care about a Joss Whedon product? Think about it. It's just weird. It's just amazing how, like, when people are really, really late. That hindsight, though. But yeah, looking at it, though, like when I was watching the classic, the one from 1974, where Godzilla's fighting Mechagodzilla, it still shocks and surprises me when Godzilla is bleeding. You know what I'm saying? Mechagodzilla did the one thing that even King Ghidorah couldn't do. You know, like King Ghidorah, the Japanese military and all could not do. Like, the Japanese military could kill Godzilla at certain points, you know, when they use the oxygen destroyer. But they never made Godzilla bleed. But Mechagodzilla did, though. Mechagodzilla's that one that's like, you know what, hold my beer. Just blow Godzilla away. And, like, usually it's that first round, it always go to Mechagodzilla. And not only that, this Mechagodzilla lets you know that he ain't nothing to play with. Because if you've ever seen this, first he's disguised as Godzilla throughout most of the movie. And then comes the part where Anguirus tried to stop Godzilla because thinking it was his friend. But then Anguirus gets the piss beat out of him. And not to mention, like, this Mechagodzilla tried to choke the hell out of him with his innards. And it's like, whoa, this is brutal as hell. Ain't nothing kiddie about this. And then, like, you never see Anguirus again for, like, the rest of the movie. And, like, it's kind of like when you see, like, certain characters that you like getting curb stomped. And Anguirus got curb stomped the F out of. And then all of a sudden you see, like, later on, the real Godzilla shows up. But you never see Anguirus for the rest of the movie. You're like, is Anguirus dead or what's going on? And I think Destroy All Monsters takes place after this one. But it was like, Homeboy really needs some time to heal. Put it that way. Especially with what I saw. And then, like, you know, but as soon as, like, the real Godzilla shows up, then it starts to become, you know, a different kind of approach. Because, like, for a while there, even then, Godzilla was kind of getting curb stomped by his counterpart here. So, like, anytime you see that, usually the destruction amps up whenever the mechs are around. And if anything, I would say, like, the second mechs... No. The second Mechagodzilla was ran by, like, the actual Godzilla Force. So, and I think they used some of the technology from Mecha King Ghidorah, if I'm not mistaken. Because, see, I'm talking Heishi right now. I'm not talking Showa. So, yeah. Well, you know what? I never got to nosedive into that one entirely for you guys for the Monster Fest. So it's all about taking a handful of, like, what elements of Godzilla to use for you guys. So, like, I can talk about Showa all the time, and I can talk about Millennium a lot, too. But, you know, I really need to revisit Heishi more. And Heishi is usually, like, the stuff that has taken place after, you know, Return of Godzilla, which is a.k.a. Godzilla in 1984. And then also, what was the other one? There was another one that was prominent around that time. Godzilla vs. Biollante to a point. Because despite what a lot of people said about it in the beginning, some of these movies were probably not that great during their time. but they become incredible over time as like other people look at them and they realize the cheese fattener and stuff, which is why Godzilla's revenge keeps coming back into our lives. Sure, after a while you get tired of Minya, you get tired of all that other stuff, but in a way you're kind of seeing Godzilla's best hits being cut and spliced into one movie, and then if you look at it from that point of view and not pay attention to all the other stuff, it's actually pretty decent. But yeah, like Gabra is not real. Gabra is the personification of that bully that kid had. And then like his best friend was Minya of all monsters. But then again, that's what Minya was designed for. Yeah. I don't know. All the little Godzillas and stuff are kind of like, you know, hit or miss now and again. Even the one that actually grew up to face Destroya. It's like, you know, they either are too young to fight, they get caught up in some situation, and then comes the part where Godzilla comes back and you're just looking forward to him fighting whoever it is, and then, you know, of course they got to go ahead and mess with him and his first, you know, and it's like, damn. But, you know, like, at least with the second Baby Godzilla, it did grow up, so I'm not angry about that. But, Minya, though, I mean, in the first one, with Son of Godzilla, he was able to fire out the blast, and then, like, after a while, they started using the puff ring all the time. I'm like, come on now, character development. You know, it's like, damn. Anyway. Yeah, so I got to go ahead and run through the Godzilla franchise for a little bit, which it actually did have another celebration going on. What is it, like its 67th year? That's pretty ballin'. I can't wait to see what happens when the 70th year comes here. We really gonna have some fun there, because I'm gonna have all the movies going on, and I ain't going to work no time that day. You know what I mean? Just go all out for it. And they should go ahead and do another MonsterVerse based Godzilla movie, because you know, there has to be a way for, like, say like the Titans go back to sleep or something, or say like when Godzilla finally faces maybe their edition of Destroyer, right? And then it happens in such a way that they both melt down, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, that's it. That's pretty much where we go. But Godzilla's role in those movies is to restore and maintain balance. So it's got to be something that throws the natural order off base. And then, you know, of course, King Kong has to come back in some sort of form too, because, hey, he's still around, but he's in the hollow earth. So at the end of the day, it's like, where are you going to go from there, you know? Anyway, as I describe these things, I'm just like, you know, I just love monsters, man. And, you know, like, what's that one? Oh, yeah. I threw up the Cloverfield clip, too. Yes, I know what I've said about J.J. Abrams, and I know what I said about Matt Reeves. But that particular film, you know, they're about due for one film. Usually like a film from some of these directors that, you know, that we deal with, until I go ahead and join that same winner circle. I'll just always keep working some parties I don't go to. But yeah, the thing is, when it gets right down to Cloverfield, I actually did like the first one, and I thought 10 Cloverfield Lane was pretty good. I didn't get the chance to rate that. Actually, I didn't get the chance to rate both of them, but, you know, I sat there and I watched Cloverfield again, and I just felt all the memories come back, man. Like, when I saw it when it first came, I was like, yeah, this is alright, you know, because it's like you're in the mix of it all. You're like first person going through it, you know? It's like being in Doom without a gun. And no punch ability. And then as I look at it, I'm like, you know, there should be a sequel to tell us how this monster came about. And were they really roaming around at the time? But then as, like, years passed on and they teased about it and we never really got it, you know, we got, like, semi-sequels or maybe pre-sequels or parallel stories, because 10 Cloverfield Lane in a way is a parallel or a blood relative, they said it was. But, you know, like, it actually keeps the movie fresh if we don't know. That's kind of the thing. And then, of course, the Cloverfield Paradox came out, and I'm still very confused by that. You know? Like, so the satellite came down, and did it, like, alter a dimension or something with the monster coming in? Or did the satellite come down, like, at the end of the first Cloverfield movie where you saw something fall in the water, to go ahead and wake Clover up? You know, those are the questions I have. But like I said, sometimes I just stick with the first one. I look over at Cloverfield Paradox and I'm like, I don't really want to go through all that. Nope. I'm going to have to figure out another way. But some of you super fans out there will happily tell me this stuff, and I know you will by the time of this episode. But make sure it's quick, because we are going dark this week on J360 Productions. Yep. No new episodes for a little bit. Well, not until next week. You know? Yep, I figured I could use the rest, and I figured a lot of y'all could use a break from me, so we're all going to be winning this. If you get my drift. And, you know, it's been a great time doing this stuff for you guys. Like, these events are just amazing, because, you know, like, we have Gemiversary, we have the Monster Fest. Holiday Fest is still kind of iffy right now. Just put a pin on it, or put a little question mark on it. I'm sure we'll be doing some holiday things. It just won't be as, you know, as uniformed as this. Let's see. What is the other one? No. You guys do get another event, and it's called Year's End. And that's when it's like New Year's Eve and all that jazz. Like, everything leading up to the new year. We'll look back on certain things that we've done. And then, you know, talk about some plans for the future. And then basically we'll either party it out either with a J-Man show, or we'll party it out with a Jams. Entirely up to you. And then at the same time, if it's a Jams, I will let you guys know a week in advance. And usually the week is like of Christmas, so you guys will know. Nope, nobody will be left out of the loop when it comes to Year's End. And then we get to go ahead and start that again. So in a way, it's like the top 3 events of J360 Productions. Oh, which by the way, speaking of Gemiversary, though, I know some of y'all out there are excited. Some of y'all are like this. Hey, when are you going to do a whole month of music? It's like, yeah, next June. And then at that point, we'll be jumping into the 3rd season. And speaking of season ends, though, I know this one seems kind of minute, but in a way, this is a bonus episode. It's not only the Monsters Fest's finale, but it's also the J-Man Show's season finale. Yep, we managed to get like 5 years of this grand one in. Boy, I'm starting to feel it, too. 5 years of doing this series. It hasn't been a total waste. I've actually enjoyed it. It's like the way that we have all like grown and evolved, and like the subject matter and all the crazy stuff that went down. And then like, of course, you know, who actually is the show this week. You know, I could go ahead and talk about that creepy jerk a couple of days ago or whatever. No, not a different one. I'm talking about that same one that was like, hey, we get stupid. Just. And you know, the problem is, I think, much like anything else, somebody like that would know when they're doing something wrong. And you know, there's a whole thing where people are like, well, you know, some people don't know how to be sociable, Jay, or some people don't understand social cues. See, you say that because it didn't happen to you yet. Or you say that because, guess what, you know, everybody likes to make excuses for other people and all that jazz. But I'm just going to say this, right? Doesn't fly with me. You know the boundary line. You know you're going too far. Use some self-control and some accountability, and maybe then things won't be so bad. Know the cues. Little things like that. You know, because some people always try to tell me about my attitude, and I'm like, I know my attitude. I live with it. And the thing is, usually I'm doing the right thing by that attitude. You understand what I'm saying? It's like this, because I put up with myself a lot more than any of you guys put up with me. So that's just the way that is. Like, you know, like, and once you figure yourself out like that, you'll kind of know, like, what you can do, what's feasible, and then, like, who you hang out with and who you don't hang out with. Like, you got to pay attention to those things. Even if other people will sit there and be like, yeah, and it's like, that's the, not trying to make fun of people who talk that way. It's just the way certain people sound to me when they go ahead and they do that kind of stuff. And it's like, son, intuition knows all right now. Screw you. But hey, that's how certain horror stories get started too, when people don't follow their intuition like they supposed to. Oh my god. It's like, you know damn good. you know you should not be sneaking into this. Or like from that movie Jeepers Creepers, you know damn well, Jason Long, you should not even be trying to climb down into that pipe, son. And as soon as he did, all hell broke loose. And then of course that one woman on there said, whatever that thing is, it like the smell of it. It like the smell of whatever it smelled. It's gonna come back to get it. Ain't nothing gonna stop it. And indeed nothing was gonna stop it. Jeepers Creepers boy, he wanted that boy. He like him good. Oh man, I've only seen the first one of those. I tried to get into it, guys, but that was one franchise I was like, this is not interesting to me. I don't really care what's going on. And then like whenever he showed up, then it was getting good, but you know, after he goes away, it's like, where do we go from here? And of course, though, that truck he drives was pretty epic. I'm not gonna knock that. Like when it was right behind Jason Long and his sister, and it was all honking and trying to get at him and stuff. I was like, damn, okay. But I think the worst thing he could have done was try to climb into that monster's lair where all those other men were that, you know, the creep likes to mess with and all. Shouldn't have done that. But, hey, whatevs. Like I said about intuition, though. Some parties you just don't go to, and some things you don't need to hang out with. And then, like, in some cases, your social circle could be, like, the most deadliest thing in your life. Because, I mean, despite those two movies not being great, the movies Unfriended were pretty on point about that. And then there was another movie I watched a long time ago. It was dealing with this unpopular girl who wanted to be in that social circle so bad that you know, like, she wanted to be friend with that one. And I forget what the name of it is. But she went to the point where she just stalked this girl left and right. And, you know, even after she committed suicide, like, all of the information and exchanges that the popular girl and her had came out on the popular girl's page. And, like, everything was wiped out. Because you know how Facebook is. Facebook is, you are guilty until proven innocent. And even if you proven innocent, you don't have a shot in hell of getting any sort of that claim to fame back. That's just people, folks. And you see, like, as soon as all that stuff came out and everything, the girl became, the popular girl became unpopular and pretty much lived the life of the girl that was stalking her. Because she lost everything. See, I like horror movies like that. It's sometimes, you know, it's a twist of fate. And, like, if anything, if people in your friends group ain't right and ain't loyalty and all that jazz, there's going to be something there that's going to make that keg explode. You know? And quite a lot of people don't know this or not, but popularity don't last long. And sometimes it don't even last when you're doing stuff. Like right now even, like, some people try to tell me about, like, all the fans and all the growth that's coming for J360. And I look at it and I see it all the time, but I don't let it go ahead and manipulate me to the point where I'm unapproachable or I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? Because I've always had, like, the same tone in a way. It's like, I'm aware of it, but at the same time, it's like, I can't nosedive into this stuff and be like, ooh, you know, yeah, man. Let's talk about my subscriber count before we get into this video. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about my growth. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Because if anything else, like, you know, it'll eat you alive. And if you worry about that too much, it's like, okay, are you even really a person at this point? You'd be surprised, man. It's just like when people need ratios, though. But I could go ahead and jump in on that some other time. But you see, as these movies aren't top sellers, as I mentioned them, I mean, you would think people would pay attention to them. You would think that people would know about them and stuff like that, and not try to go ahead and jive you on things. Because there is moments where people see this stuff, and then they start saying this. Oh, you know, I'm not my social media. Oh, I did. Nuh-uh. It came from you. It came from your stock. It came from wherever the hell you are. It's like, sometimes when I look at, like, my stuff, and I'm like, I see certain things, and I'm like this, where the hell did that come from? You know what I'm saying? And I try, and much like Tony Stark, I'm going to go track it down and take it out. Might cause a bit of a mess doing it, but I'm going to do something about it. You see what I'm saying? That's just the way that stuff goes, because, you know, there's a responsibility, there's a accountability that needs to be there. And then there's some people who are in charge of certain brands and all, and they're not accountable for it. You understand what I'm saying? And they ain't trying to be. To even if you pull out so much information on like where it came from and all that jazz and stuff, and they still cause more problems. If anything, we build our own demons. Some of us got our own monsters. That's why I listen to that song from the Midnight a lot, you know. Good and red. Kill your demons, you know. Because sometimes you create that stuff. Like imposter syndrome and all that jazz and things. Like, I even said this before on record that I did not create the J-Man show to be liked. I created the J-Man show because I had something to say. That was the point. You know, and like walking around now, it's like, you know, I'm always an independent individual and I always think for myself and always looking to like, okay, I see where this is coming from, but I learned from my social group in addition to other things. And like, even though as a kid I kind of had social problems, but I outgrew them and I have found a way to, you know, attest for that. You understand? But even then, like some people nowadays, they got more severe problems than I do because you could be just saying hi and stuff like that and they'll find a way to wig out and imprint the problems on you. I'm not about that life because, see, I can do bad by myself. And if I see any of that kind of stuff, believe me, I'm going to go ahead and fix you at that point. Because, like I said, you put your nonsense into my territory. So that's the whole thing about situations like that. And if you're not careful, you could become a monster from people like this kind of stuff. If you don't have self-control and look into yourself. And then, but you see, some people go ahead and look at that stuff and say, "Oh, that's cute. Oh, that's okay. Oh, that's all right." No, it ain't. No, it ain't all right. See, kind of like with some people, are like, "Oh, you know, see, but he only 10 years old. That's cute." Oh no, 10's kind of pushing it. 5 is when it's cute. See, the thing is, like when you're at 10 and stuff like that, it's like, you know, you're starting to work on things a little bit. Things are starting to change. And then eventually, you know, like a few years later, you're going to be a teen. And then, like, now you really should pay attention. Well, you know, he's fragile. He's not trying to do anything. Like, he's not trying to become sociable at points, Jay. And it's like, once again, I'm not buying it. See, those are prominent times. Those are formation times. But you see, once again, somebody's got to be accountable. And there's a lot of people running around here now. They don't want to play that game. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty much looking to the crux of how things can become monsters and how, like, you know, there's an accountability, there's a responsibility there. And then if you're not checking it, it can be a big problem later on. Which is why, like, when you look at some of these horror movies and stuff, you can see, like, some of these things are either A, self-inflicted or a laser-guided karma in some ways. And then other times it's because, oh, well, you know, I didn't want to be accountable. And I think I just mentioned Poltergeist while I did that. Or made a subtle hint to it. Anyways, though, guys, this has been a great episode. This has been a great event. I am, you know, I'm humbled. I'm glad I could put this on for you guys for another year. And knock on wood, let's go ahead and get a few more years in, because there's a lot of horror movies that we haven't covered yet, and then there's a lot of other special events I'd like to do for you guys. And, you know, for a company-wide event, like, I love doing the Monster Fest. I cannot deny it. So we'll be at this for a while then. And don't worry, I'll be back in a week. I won't be gone that long. And, hey, J360 Jams 36 is open for you guys. So anytime that you guys want to submit tracks and all that stuff, please do. It's that time for it. And since it's not Monster Fest, you know, based, it's open to a lot more people out there. Don't worry about, like, the theme. I'll figure that out. Let's just have a good time. But until then, though, this is the J-Man signing off. All of the J360 shows are now purified from the Monster Fest. The Monster Fest is going back into the vault for another year. Laters.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.